Hey TCS TV viewers, it is just Dave here from the camera store. Evelyn is still on vacation and we got a copy of Tamron's latest 17-28 2.8 lens. So Brendan and I decided to go wild here in the streets of Calgary. Tamron announced this lens a few months ago and there's been a lot of buzz about it. So we're really happy to get our first production copy of it. Now if you're an existing Sony user, you're probably used to the 16-35 G Master lens, which is very expensive, it's very heavy and it's quite big. It's a great lens, don't get me wrong, but we don't have many alternatives. So Tamron has stepped up and brought this lens to us. The 17-28, there's a couple of things I love about it. Right off the bat, the size and weight of it. It's only 420 grams, so it complements itself great with the A7 series body. 17-28 is a pretty functional zoom range, but it's not a great portrait lens, so we're going to primarily use it for shooting sort of candids on the street. We're using it for architecture, for landscape, that kind of stuff. That's where it really comes into its own. Now let's talk about the technical specs on this lens a little bit. What I like about this lens is that it's nice and small, 420 grams as we mentioned earlier, but it's all internal zooming. So as I zoom from 17-28, the lens doesn't change shape whatsoever. We have a nice focusing ring here if we want to go into manual focus. Now it is dust and moisture resistant, and internally we have 13 different elements in 11 different groups. Now 2 of those are low dispersion and 1 of those is extra low dispersion. We also have a very fast stepping motor that's incredibly quiet. So what does all this stuff mean? It means in real world use you get really quick autofocus, you get really nice contrasty images that are sharp to edge. Now what I'm finding at 17, the extreme edges, and I'm talking about the extreme edges, soften up a little bit. But overall, I'm looking at the price point of this lens and how it performed, I have no complaints whatsoever. This lens actually has a very good minimum focusing distance. When you're at 17 millimeters, you are a 19 centimeter or 7.5 inches minimum focusing distance. And if you switch to 28 for a little different perspective, you are at 26 centimeters or just over 10 inches. That allows you to frame some flowers in a pretty nice format like this. That's really nice added versatility to a lens like this. I've really enjoyed shooting the Tamron 17-28 today. I like that wider angle perspective. It really forces you to be creative and you get some unique angles. Now I didn't do really much portraiture today because it's not a portrait lens like that, but the shots that I did take I quite liked. The basketball player, for instance, and the window washers was a lot of fun. Now I like the build quality of this and I also like the size and weight because I could carry it all day without any hand fatigue. It was great that way. Now we of course chose the A7R III as our camera to match with this lens for today. We wanted a higher resolution sensor to really push this lens and see what it's capable of. And it didn't disappoint. From the image quality to the focusing speed to the build and handling of this lens, nothing disappointed me whatsoever in this lens, and it's an easy recommendation. If you're a Sony user, you owe it to yourself to check this lens out. Now I hope you like some of the pictures that I took today. Make sure you subscribe to us if you haven't already. Follow us on Instagram and we'll catch you guys soon.